Hi guys, it's Megan. It's a new week, and that means it's another opportunity for me to muse. So thank you for coming back to Megan's Musings. Today we're going to talk about strandable thread. I love strandable thread. I know that a lot of people are either intimidated to try it or maybe just haven't had the opportunity to. And so I'm going to be here to help you understand the world of strandable threads and why you should hop right on to our train. So strandable threads, I would say, for the most part, are either 100% silk or 100% cotton. A strandable thread is a thread that has a twist to it. So all of the threads are twisted up and they come off the skein in one strand, but you're going to look and see that this thread is made up of lots of other threads. So I think you can probably see that okay. So a cotton thread for the most part has 6 strands. A silk thread will have anything from 6 to 8. There's one that has 7. And then our real workhorse friend is the Splendor, which comes on a card and actually has 12 strands. So I'm going to cut a little piece of this and show you how to best strand a strandable thread. Okay, so you're just going to cut a small length. This is going to be a little smaller for demonstration purposes than I would actually use to stitch with. But you cut a length of thread right off the card. I'm going to get a little closer here so that you can see what this looks like. So if you can see, when it comes off the card, it's in just a twisted up one ply looking. It looks like it's all in its own little tube, and it appears that you could stitch with this. You could take this, put this in your needle and stitch. It's 12 strands of silk, so it's going to be pretty thick. I'm not sure I would recommend it unless you're on maybe like 12 mesh or something, because this is going to be a really thick piece of thread to stitch with. But what happens is if you hang on to it with your non-dominant hand, I like to tap the top. I like to, in my head, I say, wake up, wake up. And with this thread, you're going to see that it pulls apart into 3. It's not doing it as easily for me, of course, as I'm on camera. Splendor opens up into 3 little packages of 4 strands each. So the coolest thing to do with this thread is if you're on 18 count mesh, you can just take one of those packets. And when you separate applied thread, you loosely hold on to the entire strand of thread and slowly pull up on the strand. And do you see how that just really nicely unfolds into my hand? So now these are my 4 threads that I want to use on my 18 count mesh canvas. I'm going to set the other 2 packs aside, and I'm going to come back again, and I'm going to say, okay guys, wake up, wake up. Now, 2 things are happening here. Number 1, could I take this and go ahead and stitch away on my 18 count mesh? Absolutely, you sure can. It's the right amount. It'll work just fine. But is that the very best thing that you could do with your stranding? No, sir or ma'am. I would wake these guys up here, all 4 of them. I would like to see them kind of all present themselves. And then one at a time, I'm going to pull these 4 strands out. I'm going to set him aside. And you'll notice that when I do this, I'm going up and down. And I'm going to show you what happens if you don't go up and down here in a second. I'm going to pull these 2 out straight across like this. I'm going to set him down, and I'm going to get the other 2 out, pull up. And then my last one is right here ready for me. I'm going to set these guys down because for a second, I'm just going to show you why I think some people get really frustrated with stranding threads. And the reason for that is I think they come up here and they say, you 2 should pull apart. You see what happened there? They all tangle up. And it gets even worse when there's more than 2 ply that I'm trying to pull apart. So if you wake these guys up and you find your ends and you pull them apart like this, it gets all knotted up. And people say, that's the worst thread ever. It's all knotty and it's all tangled up. And if this were longer, it would even have more opportunity to tangle up on itself, and it would be really, really annoying. So I don't know why. I'm not the wizard who created the ability to pull straight up and down on these threads, but I can tell you, because I've had a lot of experience, that loosely holding with your non-dominant hand and slowly pulling up on one ply straight up off the strand gets it out so super easy and ready to rock and roll. All right, The next thing I want to show you is now that I've pulled apart my 4 strands over here, I think they're waiting for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I think the next step of this, so pulling all of these apart. So I want to show you this first. Do you see how there's all 4 of these strands here and they're just kind of loosely hanging out together? They've got air between them. They've taken a deep breath and they're ready to work for us. So I love to personify things, by the way. It just makes me giggle. So I think the next reason that people get frustrated with strandable threads is to actually just threading their needle. So it is a little difficult to make sure that all 4 of those strands are exactly the same length. Can you see that? You see how they're all just kind of, so you can use a needle threader. You can put your needle threader in, you can work to manipulate all 4 of those threads into your needle threader and pull it out. Works just fine. But what I like to do is I like to pull and bend all of those strands over the top of the needle. I hope you can see that okay. Can you see that okay? I like to make it taut, pull the needle out, and push the needle onto the thread. Don't try to push the thread into the needle. See what I've done there? I've got all these little bits. I'm going to pull them out, and then they come on nicely, and then I'm going to kind of, oh, that was funny. That's a little blooper reel. I'm going to do that one more time for you. I'm going to pull these over. It's because I have such a short strand that I wasn't prepared for. So we're going to try that again. We're going to bend the thread over the top of the needle. We're going to push the thread into the needle, and then we're going to pull it through, and it's all threaded. So that's just a little tip. Use your threader if you like using a threader. Don't be intimidated by strandable thread. This thread now is ready to rock and roll on 18 count mesh. So that brings me to the next point. It is confusing when you walk into a store and you see all of the strandable threads that are available to you. Hopefully, someone in the store is there to guide you and help you pick a thread, pick the right amount of ply. But just in case you're in a store, one thing that we have done is create these little instructional tips for each of the threads that we carry in the store. So you'll see on here, it gives you the price, it gives you the yardage, it's going to give you how many ply are actually in the skein or on the card, and then it's going to give you a suggestion. And we typically suggest 3 to 4 ply on 18 count mesh and 6 ply on 13 count mesh. That is a broad statement and a place to start. But remember, this thread's going to work for you. If you find that your tension is too, not too tight, because nobody's tension is too tight. If you just happen to have a tighter tension than some people do, you might see that when you put this green, 4 strands of green thread over a white canvas, it's not covering enough. So guess what? You go back to your strand, you pull one more friend out, you add him to the mix, and away you go. That's really the beauty of a strandable thread. So I think that covers sort of the hows and the whys. And so what I want to just say, excuse me, we have a lot of strandable threads here in the store, and that's because we love it so much. I'm just going to give you an overview of a few that we have. Splendor is the only one, as I mentioned, that comes on a card. It's also the only strandable thread that has 12 ply per strand. We also carry the Planet Earth pliable silk. We carry the Soie d'Alger. We carry the Gloriana, which is an overdye. We've got Soie Cristal, which has a really nice icy presence that I love. All of these threads have a lot of color variation, and that's what's also wonderful about the world of strandable threads. There are a lot of strandable threads, and you can mix and match them. So in other words, if you just really like the color of the Planet Earth ply in this color, but you can't find quite the right color in the next color away, you can use a different pliable silk and they can match up just beautifully on the same canvas. The cottons that we carry are the Threadworks floss over dye. We've got some Weeks Dye Works. We don't carry the full line, but those are really the 2 cotton strandables. And another just little tip that we have here in the store is the Splendor. We love the Splendor. We carry the full line. Splendor offers you the opportunity to have the Splendor collection. There are, I think, 8 of these, or 9. Trying to remember, 2, 4, 6. I think there are 8 of these. There's a Halloween. There's the Christmas, which gives you these little bits and parts. And remember, this looks like a tiny amount, but keep in mind that there's a lot of pack here to this punch, because there are 2 yards of each, But remember, there are 12 strands, so that's going to get you a pretty long way. So that's my PSA on trying out Strandable threads. I hope that you'll give it a shot. It will open a door for you that is a world of threads that I think you'll really enjoy. And I hope that this helped you maybe take that next little step into Strandable threads. So thanks for coming to my musing. And as always, we'll see you again next week.